What's fascinating about the Kilmar Abrego Garcia case is what we're seeing right now is very typical. We are seeing a dehumanization campaign where people are labeling him as a terrorist, a gang member, or a thug, which is really interesting because we get the word thug from thugi, which is Sanskrit for deceiver or person who hides something. The story of the thugi is that they were roving bands or gangs of people who essentially attacked foreigners and travelers by pretending to be their friends. They would steal from people and they would murder people, and there's even some stories of them being worshippers of Kali who would perform human sacrifices. You might have seen that if you've watched Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Now that's what you learn when you look it up on YouTube. When you learn about the thugi, you're taught about the worship of Kali, you're taught about human sacrifice and demonic cult-like practices. But when you actually look into the thugi even more, you find that a lot of this could simply just be British propaganda. That's what confused me when learning about the thugi. For instance, there was multiple claims that they were a cult that worshiped Kali, but there were still Muslim thugi. And the thing is that Muslims don't usually worship Kali. That's a Hindu god. There's other things too. For instance, human sacrifice. Believe it or not, when you study anthropology, you often find that there is a reason or a rationalization behind human sacrifice when it's performed in culture. In many cases, it's due to population control. When you're dealing with overpopulation, then people resort to human sacrifice. In other ways, it's for fertility reasons. For instance, in Central America, people resorted to human sacrifice in order to help the crops grow. Now, none of those reasons really make sense when you're thinking about the fact that they were attacking foreigners and travelers who were going through their land. Throughout the past few decades, more historians have actually come forward with the same degree of skepticism. They have started to state that what we believe about the thugi might actually be false. For instance, some people believe that it wasn't an organized cult towards worship of Kali. These were actually more separated groups of people who were thieves and murderers, but for their own personal interests, not due to some religious belief. There are other people who believe that the thugi were simply British sensationalism, that they were using the thugi as a form of justification for colonization. And remember that the British ended up killing about 100 million people in India. The British have taken the most money and killed the most people in India in the past 400 years. And yet, we still use the word thug today to describe someone with low personal morals. I find that so interesting in history, not just with the British and the thugi, but also with like the Japanese and the Taiwanese headhunters, or with Native Americans and Western civilization, where there is an optics issue, where there is this belief that the thugi are murderers and thieves, when the British stole and murdered so many more people than they ever did. I'm also bringing it up because you are witnessing right now firsthand real-time dehumanization, something that can last for hundreds of years, like in how we still use the word thug today in a pejorative sense. They are attacking him for wearing Chicago Bulls merchandise. They are attacking him by calling him a terrorist. They're saying that he's a gang member. They're saying all of that without evidence. And it's something that once you see it happening in history, and you can see it happening in real time, should change you and should make you realize what is actually being said.